So previous session was very wonderful and I enjoyed a lot. And sir, just to want to answer your question about why India is not on the hardware field. So what I believe or my prospect is that where we are good in, we should focus that on first, and then whatever we are having, what we can develop, that we can bring in. So I work for a company, for Taiwanese company, and they are a hardware manufacturer. So obviously, the days are turning out now. Indians, like all the startups, what you have seen, they are starting from the software ventures, and now many companies, as we heard, that 70% are now making their own hardware in India. So that is a good venture, and I'll rather tell you that Advantech is one of the company who have initiated that they want to make their own setup in India for a manufacturing startup, and we have started it from the assembly line. So it's already done in India, and we are looking about the near future and trying to how we can increase our business here and we can develop a manufacturing startup for India. Coming to my presentation, I should come down like morning we have seen that equal. So my agenda for today's discussion is about Internet of Things, and why I have mentioned that is connecting the dots, because Internet of Things or M2M, it is not a buzzword what we are listening now. It's happened long time back. Now we are, so when you talk about Internet of Things, like it is like connecting to how many billions of devices, and then in 2020 it will be 50 million. These are all the buzzwords what we are listening. But what is the way behind? If you go way behind about 10 years back, or maybe in 2010, whatever the devices we are having in hand, it is approximately 1 million. As you can see in the figure that there are 6 billion people across the world who are using 1 billion devices. But if you think in 2020, the population will be 7 billion humans which are handling 50 billion devices. Going ahead in 2040, the volume is increasing in triple or 4 times. So how it is happening? If you talk about if you go for 10 years beyond, the data says that the internet the internet started in 2000 where the internet boom, whatever the application or whatever the main features we are working on the internet. So this internet era started say in 1995 or in 2000, starting where again in 2006 mobile application came, smartphones what all people are now having with us. So this mobile application changed entire thing. If you can see this chart, every 10 years there was a paradigm shift of the technology. If you see 1970, the mainframe started and then it started declining in 1980s. Then the PC market picks up. In 1990 again the market going decline, and the smartphone or the smart features phones have started booming up. So now the time came where all the devices, like one thing should be communicated to the other thing. That is, we are saying the Internet of Things. This is now in 2009, IBM have coined that first time about the smart planet, about IoTs. And in the same year, China have implemented the Sensing China. Mr. Wan, who is the Premier of China, he have coined this word Sensing China. And after that, what happened? All this, the streets or maybe whatever the environment and other thing, all are controlled. Everywhere you will see the sensors has been connected with each other, and now we can see that how China have reformed their entire country. In 2011, again Germany have coined the word about Industry 4.0. Now you can see that machine is communicating with other machines like ABB or maybe Siemens, whatever the manufacturers, they can predict that whatever the devices is running in any part of the world is whether it is working fine or not. So this is how the industry is changing. And now we are talking about IoT, smart city. And in 2014, obviously in India, we know that why we are making this kind of forums, because we have a plan, a dream plan for India that making 100 smart cities, or it's like a M2M communication. So the first question is that morning also we have discussed why we need this IoT, whether the smart city is essential for India. So many speakers have told about why we need this one. So our prospect is, as a part of Advantech, our prospect is that there are two factors which is deriving this IoT and smart city market. First one is like every 10 years technology is changing, and second one is that urbanization. So the second point is very valid because about 70% of the world population by 2050 they are going to be urbanized. That means in a particular place or in a very resourceful space where many people are coming together, those have a very limited resources. So how to manage that? Governance body or maybe the government have to manage those kind of resources. Suppose, for example, in some part of Delhi, epidemic happen, like medical epidemic happen, where some kind of virus, like you have seen that H1N1 have started flowing. So how to control that one, and how fast we can control that one, and how we can protect that area, and it will help us to not to spread those epidemic to other areas. So it is not like that we don't need doctors. We need doctors obviously, but how proactively we can work out. So this is one of the example. Second example about the resources, the natural resources, the scarcity of water, electricity, how managefully or how tactfully we are handling all these resources. Because if one area population is increasing and there was lack of resources, so you can understand that how it is going to change our entire life. So IoT is nothing, it is not only for any one particular place like a smart city which having all the verticals, but it is also adding up the smart services or maybe with the smart manufacturing. Our manufacturing units should know that where you need that particular product and how it is going to happen and how it is going to help us. That is like we are collaborating with our software team, we are searching for the local software vendors who can design the software with our hardware and provide a complete solution for India market. So according to us, IoT works on these three different layers. First one is about the instrumented, where on the ground layer, I mean on the field level, how you are gathering the data. So it is one aspect where we can get all the data, and then second, through the interconnected data should be processed and it should be transmit the information to the cloud, and in the cloud you have to analyze all those features. With that, there were different critical technologies like big data analysis, data security, exchanging that one, and on the field layer the device should be robust enough. It should be IP68 rated, or maybe it should be all environment protected devices, whatever the sensor we are talking about. So if you talk about these three layers, so first one layer is about the bottom layer is instrumented, where we can discuss about all the connecting device in which protocol they are talking. So Advantech have all the products which is from the sensor layer, which can work on the BLE, 6LoWPAN, or whatever the RF technology you talk about. Advantech have that kind of sensors with us. Coming to the interconnected, where the data should be taken from the devices and ready to transfer to the upper layer, which is on the cloud. So gateways we have tied up with like companies like Intel or McAfee or Microsoft, where we are making our own hardware and it can gather all the data and it can transmit the data to the cloud. So keeping in mind that the legacy hardware also should communicate all the information to our gateway, so that kind of features is enabled with our hardware. And on the upper layer, which is like intelligent big data, so here we can do all the analytics, reporting and part. So these are some software solution which we can do, like IoT multimedia. It is taking care of all the sensor layer, where we can get all the data from the IoT sensors, and then on the upper layer, wherever the data is collected, whether it is analyzing, gathering the data and transmitting the data. And this should be done on a very secure way. So we have SUSE Access, which is remote management software, as well as securing the data and keeping it safe. So these are the IoT value chain what we are offering. So on the bottom layer, like we are like partnered with our eco partners like Intel, Microsoft, Freescale or TI, and we are developing this kind of devices like sensors or maybe some embedded platforms. On the top of that, we are providing security softwares and the web access which can communicate with our hardware. With the help of this, we are also tied up with local partners, software partners who can help us to go ahead and surface the local needs, that is on the maybe on the agriculture, in the transportation, or maybe in green energy or in factory automation. So this is last what I want to, can you speak the volume? So for transportation sector, what are the solutions we can provide? You can see from this video presentation. There are many more products which we can talk about. This is the one vertical what we have shown for IoT as a smart transportation system in urban cities. And with that, I also like to tell you that we are also ready to partnering with local partners, because we understand that as a global team cannot be play here. Even the big organization also, I don't want to name anyone, but they, if you want to work in India, you have to Indianize many things. So we are ready to be a partner for the IoT with your help. So thank you for patience listening.
I would like to invite Dr. Dinesh, Mr. Dinesh Sharma. That's a good thing, right? That's a good thing.
I wish I
Yes.
have that degree. I hope you're not a patient. So that's what scares me.
Yeah. For Mr. Swarup. Yeah.
Thank you,
very
sir.
much.
Thank you.
Actually, cerebral.
Yeah.
Last.
Yes.
Cerebral.
Yeah, sir. We have. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.